If you're running a voice AI agency, there are 10 questions that literally every SMB will ask you on the first call. And if you can't answer these confidently, you're losing deals before you even get started. I've been on hundreds of these calls, both as an agency owner, as well as now scaling Trillet as well. These are 10 questions that come up on almost every single discovery call, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to handle each one. I'm going to speak about the most common ones last, and number one is by far the most common question that I do get asked in these calls. So starting from number 10, question 10 is what happens if we want to cancel? So obviously when you hear one of these questions, it definitely means that they have a fear factor and they're quite hesitant on the call. Now there's two things to note here. One is that you haven't demonstrated that there's enough value to the product, which is why they're quite concerned about canceling. They're not sure the product works. What I really encourage here is one, to reassure them for one. So you want to say that there is no blocking contract and you're able to cancel when you like. But more importantly, you want to make sure that we're confident, that you yourself as an agency owner is confident in the product, which means that yes, well, you can only pay if you're confident and you love the product. There's no long-term commitment. We'll have a long-term partnership. That means we'll always be by your side. So when I go and ran my agency, I made sure that there was support along the way. AI is a very, very new technology, which means that even how we're moving at the moment, this video itself will be edited by Claude, which means that, well, 1 year ago where AI just started getting good, all the way to now we're editing videos and we're doing animations now with AI, it means that the tech is moving too fast, which means that your business owners and your clients will need that support. Give it to them. That's how you reassure, and that's how I would overcome that objection. Number 9, how long until we see results? The beautiful thing with voice AI and AI receptionists and outbound calling is that you can see an immediate impact on the business outcome. For example, if they are missing calls and they're losing revenue, you would pull that calculator, as I mentioned in the last video, and I'll go on the side here, is that you can actually calculate exactly how much money they're missing from calls per day or per week or per month. You would then times that, how much their order value is, and then you would say, well, you're missing this many calls, and this is how much revenue you'd make per call. This is the total per month. And just showing them that cost calculator really shows them, well, this is the ROI that you achieve. So cool that as long as you build the agent correct as well. I would ensure that you definitely give them an ROI timeline, whether that be letting them know, well, as soon as we build the agent and it launches, one, you don't even need to answer the calls anymore. So that means there's an ROI on your own time, as well as also a monetary impact as well. Number 8, and this question is very important. Number 8 is what if we need changes or updates? This question is definitely an important one as well, because it links back to my previous question. It is the support factor. When you do sign a new client or you're talking to a new prospect, whether that be a small business or even a medium-sized business, they have a fear factor of AI. They don't know what works and what doesn't. You are pretty much telling them that you can replace or you can leverage a whole AI to answer every single call. That's never heard before and it's never been done before at a cost factor of that, which means they will be hesitant no matter what. Unless they're very forward thinking, which tends not to be the case at the moment, they're very hesitant. It is another question of you need to reassure them, and that's why we put them onto retainers. When I ran the agency, retainers were my favorite thing because it meant that I knew once I built this agent, that agent will work, and it means I will have a long-term commitment from them, because if it works, why would they get rid of it? It is reducing their costs, it is reducing their time, or it's saving them time. What is the loss of continuing this agent? But that agent requires support, it requires changes. If I started this agency a year ago, I'd be running on GPT-4, which is now very, very, I guess, it's not great anymore. There are significantly better models and it's almost being deprecated, I'm assuming, or I assume. Models now, you need to continue improving. You need to find the better voices. You need to improve the prompt. That is not what a setup build can just do. You obviously need to improve over time to give your client that. Question number 7 is, can you integrate with existing CRMs or existing tools? 100% yes, always say yes, but you want to get information out of them. An integration like a specific software that's based on industry, they're probably using their existing software, which means you definitely want to integrate with them, whether it be a calendar, for example, a trade would commonly use Service Titan. You want to make sure that you look up these integrations and see if you can work with them first. But definitely, I'd encourage you guys to integrate. You can also charge a custom setup fee on top of that because you are integrating with a specific software. At Trillet, we try to give you as many native integrations, which means that you can just connect by a simple OAuth for example, Google Calendar or Cal.com. For more complex automation or more complex softwares, we have a builder that builds the APIs for you out as well. All you got to do is just link the API documentation out an API key, or if you put the API key manually. So there are definitely ways, but I would 100% yes. Charge them extra, ask them questions. What would you like the system to do? Do you want it to book a calendar? XYZ. So definitely realize this as well. At Trillet, you have a full API documentation. We're a full development platform, which means you guys have access to all of that, and you have the ability to take on more clients. In saying that, I do suggest you to leverage or to focus on one specific field. For example, if you're working with plumbers, maybe focus on a service type and one more trade software. Don't go more than that, because then you're a general of all trades. I would 100% encourage you to specialize in one software. That way you have leverage in the industry. Another very common question, and number 6, is what happens if it breaks or it stops working? It's a very common question. They would have experienced similar sort of downtime when they had a human receptionist when they were doing it, which was missed calls. You want to reassure one, the AI works 24/7. It can definitely work 24/7 if they like it to, and that the downtime is very, very low. The chances of that happening is very, very low, but obviously they have concerns of they worry about the reliability. SMBs cannot afford downtime. One missed call can lead to a huge job that's missed, right? So you want to ensure that you are obviously coming back to the same reasoning as before. We are on a retainer. You do have a retainer clause where you can ask for support on these certain things, whether it be downtime. We will notify you of if there is downtime, but there is 99% uptime, which is significantly better, or XYZ, better than what you would have with a human who would take sick leave, who would take lunch leave, who would take all these other things, and they only work 9 to 5. So imagine all that extra time that the AI is using and picking up calls. That is such a more significant benefit for you guys than it is for hiring a human being. Question number 5 is we don't have time to learn new technology. Now, this actually does come up quite frequently and more than you expect. Is that when I used to run my agency, I worked with a lot of trade businesses. Now, you can sort of get the idea where I'm going with this, is that trade businesses sometimes don't want to really learn new technology. Even some trade businesses now, they still use pen and paper. We still discuss with clients that still are using pen and paper, and they just want a very, very simple integration. That is extremely common. And this is because they're old school. So they are probably used to more old school tools such as pen and paper. Now, what you want to do here, and the way I object, is you don't do a single thing. We have one onboarding call, which is you send me and you fill out this form, and then you scan this QR code to do the call forwarding and the call diversion at the end. We handle everything else. You do not need to learn a single piece of technology. In fact, the only thing that you need to learn is how to actually call the agent and test it yourself. That is it. So the way we sort of reassure, and we want to make sure that they're not spending too much time on the agent. We do handle all the production work and the development work. The only thing they do is hop on a call with us and test, make sure that they're happy with the agent. You guys have to understand that these business owners are running their business 60 hours a week, so they're not going to have time to learn a new technology. There is a reason why they have approached you in the first place, that they don't have time to set these things up themselves. So as a result, try to make them do as least work as possible, but make sure that you're very clear with the expectations of what they need to do, which is give them your details, give them the scripts, give them any FAQs that they have. That's all you need as a bare minimum, and make sure they test the agent. Question number 4 is, what if customers hate talking to AI? This is actually quite a fair point in that it's not as natural as a human. The way I would always object against this, or I'd handle this objection, well, if your customers hate talking to AI, do they hate talking to nothing more, or do they hate talking to something that would actually resolve their issues? You have to put AI and nothing on a comparison table. What's going to answer the calls 24/7? AI. Is your voicemail going to answer every call? Is your AI going to book in appointments for you? Is the voicemail going to book in appointments for you? So would you rather have nothing, or would you rather have something? That's how I would always object, because they think that having nothing is better than having something, which is completely false. You need to switch their mind into thinking, well, at least the AI would be able to do actions, it can take calls, it can send email summaries, it can do whatever it needs to do, which is basically what a receptionist can do, but at a fraction of the cost. Or would you rather have a voicemail that does nothing for you? Yes, they maybe 10% might leave a voicemail, but what about the 90% that move to a different job, or move to a different plumber, or electrician, or real estate agent, for example? That's a very simple, in my opinion, objection to handle. We now go to the top 3 questions that were asked. So number 3 is, how do we know that this actually works? You don't. These SMBs will have no idea what the agent does or how good you are as an agency. What you should do instead is 1, offer a free trial. 2, show that it works. So provide them a custom demo that you can use with Trillet. You can create demo with their website in 5 minutes and then use a shared demo feature that we have and send them a link. They can test it, they can play around with it, they can call it, they can do whatever they want to it, but then say, well, if you are even remotely interested in this demo or you like how it sounds, how about we go on a retainer? I'll build the whole thing out for you. You don't pay anything up front, which means that as an agency, I will only make money if you guys enjoy the demo. And if you guys enjoy the product, there's no upfront cost to you and there's no risk to you. It's a completely risk-free. That's how I would object to that, because it's a very common objection and you'll want to make sure that you're offering as much value to them to begin with before they pay. And previously, I guess, when I ran my agency, it was quite common that you'd have to charge a setup fee because you couldn't build demos as fast as you can now. I can go on Trillet, I can type in the website, I can put in the automations, I can put in SMS summaries, email summaries, I can share a demo all in 5 minutes, which is not much work for me. Yes, it looks really custom and it's not much work for me, so I don't really care if I lose money. I don't really care if they don't go with me because I'll just move on to the next prospect. As a result, the way you counter this objection is you give them as much value by saying, well, I'll give you a free trial, I will give you this demo. If you like it, then we can talk. If you don't, then it's all good. Number 2 is probably the most surprising objection that I get. It's not really an objection per se, but it is, we already have a phone system. So the reason for this is because I think a lack of education. People think that AI will replace their phone system. We completely disagree. We believe that AI should be an addition to your existing phone system, or it can be an added benefit to your existing phone system. What do I mean by this? Agencies should be able to assist existing business phone numbers. If you talk to any single business owner in the world, they will say, I don't want to change my existing number. I have existing clients on there, I have personal people on there, I've got leads on there. I don't want to lose my phone number. So you don't want to replace their phone system. What you want to do instead is you want to do call forwarding or call diversions to our AI agent. That means when the business owner does not answer the call within 3 or 4 rings, AI will then pick up the call and action the call. So it's essentially acting as an advanced voicemail where it can take actions, it can book calls in, it can do whatever it needs to do after the call. So that's how I sort of go about that question, where I'd say it appears in most of my discovery calls. Most people don't know what AI does, or how does it sit on a phone, or how does it take over the phone. Like, it's a very confusing thing, and we've tried to make it as simple as possible using call forwarding. And finally, question number 1, and by far the most common question that I ever get asked is, how much does this cost? This is definitely occurrence at least once per call, because everyone knows, everyone wants to know, especially in a small business, how much does AI cost? SMBs, obviously they're running a small business, but expenses are tight, revenue is tight, which means that most commonly these guys will ask straight away. You don't ever want to give them the price straight away because you haven't demonstrated any value whatsoever. You need to make sure that they understand what the AI can do, how it benefits them, how much revenue it can generate them, how much time it can save them before you ever give pricing away. Now, the benefit for this case is you want to make sure that you're, 1, understanding their needs and understanding the questions they have, but 2, making sure that the value is there. And what I mean by the value is there is by saying, well, there's no cost to you. It's free. You can just test it for free. Like, there's no reason for why you pay for this when I haven't even given you any sort of value whatsoever to this product. I need you to test it first. You want to make sure that the value is there and making sure that you give them the agent for free, make sure you test it. And that's why we have these features for sharing the demo, or we have these features for creating these agents in 5 minutes. Because as an agency owner, I don't want you guys to be stuck on creating custom demos for clients who would unlikely convert. I want you to gain value as your own. I want you to ensure that you have efficiency as an agency, which means we provide the tools for you to create these demos very fast so that you can go and sell this to as many prospects as possible. That's why we have created these features, which means that overcoming this objection shouldn't be difficult, because you should be able to offer these agents for free for at least demos. That way, you'd be like, well, if you enjoy it, then we can talk about pricing, but I want you to at least understand that there's value here, and make sure that you can give it a call, have a play around with it, and make sure that you actually like it in the first place. And yeah, guys, that is the entire video. These are the top 10 questions that I get asked on every single call, the pricing one being the most common. However, I hope you did enjoy and I hope you did learn something from this. I would really appreciate if you guys liked and subscribed, and if you left a comment on your thoughts. And yeah, if you're interested in learning how the platform works, especially the part about sharing the demos or creating the custom voice agents in 5 minutes, There's a link to sign up below and you'll be able to have a play around with the platform there. I really encourage you guys to take these questions in and master these responses, as you'll be able to close a lot more deals as an agency. The Trillet product itself is designed to counter these objections extremely well. So that's how we do it and how we create a lot of efficiency in the platform. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.